Alright everybody, what's up? This is Joshua Maitland here, and in this video for eductember, I'm going to be doing an overview of Mr. Tickle Teaches Maths, as you can see right here. Now, as you can tell, I've already put the CD in, and I've already installed the program. So I'm just gonna click on run and let's begin. There's the intro.
Welcome to the Mr. Tickle Teaches Maths CD-ROM.
Instead of clicking on hear a story, I'm just gonna click on play and learn.
It was a warm, sunny morning. In his small house at the other side of the wood, Mr. Tickle was asleep. You didn't know that there was such a thing as a tickle, did you? Well, there is. Tickles are small and round, and they have arms that stretch and stretch and stretch. Extraordinary long arms.
Well, I'm just gonna click on the next page. Oh, just look at that animation.
Mr. Tickle is asleep in his house. Can you count the number of snores that appear from his bedroom window?
Of course. Now this is some sort of like an activity.
How many snores can you count?
Oh, and in case if you didn't know about the text, it's all in Comic Sans. Yes, good old Comic Sans. Right, let's focus on the snores. So I think there's only 2.
That was the right answer. Well done. How many snores can you count?
1, 2, 3. 6 snores.
That was the right answer. Well done. How many snores can you count?
Same one as before.
That was the right answer. Well done. How many snores can you count? Correct answer. How many snores can you count? Correct answer. How many snores can you count?
3 snores.
Well done. How many snores can you count?
I'm just going to go on to the next one.
Mr. Tickle was fast asleep. He was having a dream. It must have been a funny dream, because it made him laugh out loud, and that woke him up. He sat up in bed, stretched his extraordinary long arms, and yawned an enormous yawn. Mr. Tickle felt hungry. So, do you know what he did?
Laugh out loud, which is something like a low...
Laugh. Bean. Laugh.
Oh.
Loud. Loud.
Every time you hover a text, that
Loud.
trumpet
Funny.
thingy popped up. I'm going to go on to the next page.
I'm hungry. How many times do you want Mr. Tickle to snore?
Well, probably about 8 snores. Well, as you can tell. And I'm just going to go on to the next page. Next bit.
He reached out one of his extraordinary long arms, opened the bedroom door, reached down the stairs, opened the kitchen door, reached into the kitchen cupboard, opened the biscuit tin, took out a biscuit, brought it back upstairs, in through the bedroom door, and back to Mr. Tickle in bed.
Oh, wow. As if. Oh, yes.
Yummy!
My word. He has got extraordinarily long arms.
Mr. Tickle wants to know how many biscuits are in the biscuit tin. Can you count them for him?
Yes. So I would. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 cookies.
That was the right answer. Well done.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Correct.
Oh, there's only one.
That was the right answer. Well done.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exact same one.
That was the right answer. Well done.
Oh, something different this time.
That was the right answer. Well done.
Good grief.
Well done.
Right, I'm just going to go to the next bit.
As you can see, it's very useful having arms as long as Mr. Tickle's. Mr. Tickle munched his biscuit. He looked out of the window. Today looks very much like a tickling day, he thought to himself.
Well, I don't think... Well, we'll see about that.
Can you look at Mr. Tickle's biscuit and tell me how many parts it has been divided up into?
I think I may have skipped the animation.
He reached out. Mr. Tickle wants to know. As you can see.
As you can see, it's very useful having long arms. Today looks very much like a tickling day. Can you look at Mr. Tickle's biscuit and tell me how many parts it has been divided up into?
Of course I can. Oh, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yummy.
Yummy. It is. 3.
Yummy.
And it's going to be exact same one all over again.
Yummy.
Especially the line. Oh, now this. This looks like a plus sign, so it must be 1/4. That is only 4 cookies.
Yummy.
Oh, now this looks like pizza slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mmm, yummy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Mmm, yummy.
And it looks like pizza slices again. 9.
Mmm, yummy.
Well, I'm just gonna go to the next bit because I had enough of these cookies, pizzas, and yeah, what have you.
So, later that morning, after Mr. Tickle had made his bed and cooked his breakfast, he set off through the wood. As he walked along, he kept his eyes very wide open, looking for someone to tickle, looking for anybody to tickle.
Oh no. Right, I'm just gonna go to the next bit.
I can't wait to tickle someone.
Uh-oh. Don't you dare, Mr. Tickle.
Click anywhere within the picture to hear the number of similar objects there are within the scene.
Okay then. I'm just gonna click on anywhere.
There are 3 clouds.
Sun?
That is the sun. There is 1 tree. There are 2 bushes. There are 7 flowers. That is the grass. There are 8 fence posts. There are 8 fence posts.
Oh no. The fence post is not here.
There are 2 bushes.
Okay, I'm just gonna go for the next one.
Eventually, Mr. Tickle came to a school.
Oh.
There was nobody about. So he reached up his extraordinary long arms to a high window ledge. And do you know what he did?
I'm gonna have to go to the next bit and find out.
Can you fill in the missing numbered windows with the numbers at the bottom of the page?
Of course I can. Oh, I got to drag and drop. What happens if I click on the wrong one?
Placing that number there does not follow the pattern.
Oops. Yeah, I think that's the right one this time.
Well done! You got them all right.
I'm just going to go to the next one.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Tickle pulled himself up and peeped in through the open window. Inside, he could see a classroom. There were children sitting at their desks and a teacher writing on the blackboard.
Who uses blackboard these days?
I'm now going to show you your maths exercise.
Oh, maths exercise.
Mr. Tickle is stretching his extraordinary long arms up the side of the school. Can you count how many rows of bricks they cover?
Yeah, so I can. Let's see. 9.
Correct.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That was not the right answer.
Oh no.
Please try again.
That's annoying.
Count the rows of bricks with me. 1,
Oh,
2, 3,
One.
That was not the right answer. Please try again.
Oh dear.
Count the rows of bricks with me. 1, 2,
Yeah, I give up.
3, 4. Mr. Tickle waited a minute and then reached in through the window. Mr. Tickle's extraordinary long arm went right up to the teacher, paused, and then tickled. The teacher jumped in the air and turned round very quickly to see who was there. But there was nobody there.
Yeah, the teacher hasn't noticed.
Class, can you get out your maths books? Oh, stop it!
Oh.
The children in the class are doing their 2 times table. Can you read along with me?
Of course I can.
One times 2 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. 4 times 2 equals 8. 5 times 2 equals 10. 6 times 2 equals 12. 7 times 2 equals 14. 8 times 2 equals 16. 9 times 2 equals 18. 10 times 2 equals 20.
I'm gonna let the narrator say all these numbers.
1 times 2 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4.
Ah, he's
3
going to say the
times
same
2
thing over and
equals
over
6.
again.
Mr. Tickle grinned a mischievous grin. He waited another minute and then tickled the teacher again. This time he kept on tickling until soon the teacher was laughing out loud and saying, "Stop it! Stop it!" over and over again. All the children were laughing too at such a funny sight. There was terrible pandemonium. Eventually, Mr. Tickle thought that he had had enough fun.
Yes.
So he gave the teacher one more tickle for luck and then very quietly brought his arm back through the open window.
Right, on to the next page.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Can you experiment with different lengths of time using the clock?
Of course.
Click on the Start button to start the lesson.
Oh, I don't know. All I can hear is just clock ticking. I'm going to stop at 20. You stopped the clock at 20 seconds.
Chuckling to himself, he jumped down from the window, leaving the poor teacher to explain what it was all about, which of course he couldn't. Then Mr. Tickle went to town.
Oh no. He's not going to tickle the members of a public, is he? There he is, walking down the pathway.
Look at the picture, and then answer the question about the number of objects within the scene.
Okay.
How many trees are there? Correct.
There's only one.
How many flowers are there?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Correct. How many trees are there?
Oh, You just said it.
Correct. How many clouds are there?
There's only 3
Correct. How many bushes are there?
bushes. 2.
Correct. How many trees are there?
Oh, I'm just gonna go to the next one.
And what a day Mr. Tickle had. He tickled the policeman on traffic duty at the crossroads in the middle of town. It caused an enormous traffic jam. The policeman has stopped all the cars. Can you count them so he can let them go past?
Course I can.
How many cars can you count?
Sorry for the lag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
How many cars can you count?
5.
How many cars can you count?
4.
How many cars can you count?
I'm just gonna have to go to the next one.
He tickled the greengrocer
Oh.
just as he was piling apples in his shop window. The greengrocer fell over backwards and the apples rolled all over the shop.
Oh no! Oh dear, I hope the greengrocer is alright.
The greengrocer has knocked over all the apples. Can you help him by putting them back in the right sequence?
So I can. Here's 1 apple. 2. 3.
That number does not belong there.
I don't know what number it is, but
That number does not belong there.
must have let go of it. How do I let go of the mouse about like 1 second later?
That number does not belong there. Congratulations, you got them all right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the next one because it will be the same thing.
At the railway station, the guard was about to wave his flag for the train to leave. As he lifted his arm in the air, Mr. Tickle tickled him. And every time he tried to wave his flag, Mr. Tickle tickled him until the train was 10 minutes late leaving the station, and all the passengers were furious.
Oh no! I think he started to tickle like all the workers, probably.
Oh, no.
Oh, Billy, come along, get a move on. Oh, what's the matter with this stupid dog? What's he doing?
Yeah, I can
Listen
tell.
to the announcer tell you what time the train has to leave, and then click on the clock face with the correct time at the bottom of the page.
Okay then.
Can you set the train off at 10 o'clock?
Of course.
Can you set the train off at 9:45?
think it's this one.
Can you set the train off at 10:15?
Now what happens if I click on the wrong one?
That is not the correct time to set the train off.
This must be the right answer.
Can you set the train off at 10:30?
Plus 10.
Can you set the train off at 10:15?
Yeah, I think it's going to be exact same one. So I'm going to go to the next page.
That day, Mr. Tickle tickled everybody. He tickled the doctor.
Huh?
He tickled the butcher.
Oh, God. Jeez.
Oh.
Can you match one of the mouths at the bottom of the page with the one in the picture?
Okay, then. I think it's this one.
Correct answer.
Oh.
That was the right answer. Well done.
Yeah, I think it's going to be...
Correct answer.
This is going to
Well
be...
done. Correct
same
answer.
one. Oh! A no-face. A no-face butcher.
Correct.
Well, I'm just going to go to the next one.
He even tickled old Mr. Stamp, the postman, who dropped all his letters into a puddle.
Oh, no! Oh, dear. What a shame. I'm going to blame Mr. Tickle for all this. Oh, no!
Oh.
Oh, dear. The postman's not going to be happy.
Mr. Stamp, the postman, is now late delivering the letters. Can you help him by delivering the letters to the correct door?
So I will.
Click on the clock to start the lesson.
1 Happy Town Road. 7 Happy Town Road. 8 and 7. Well, I'm just going to do this lot till the timer runs out. Oh, time's
Let's
up.
see how well you have done.
Delivered 41. Nice.
Click on the clock to play again.
No. I'm going to go to the next one.
Then Mr. Tickle went home. Sitting in his armchair in his small house at the other side of the wood, he thought about all the people he had tickled.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Every day before he goes to bed, Mr. Tickle writes down the number of people he has tickled that day. Help him by adding up his score for each day.
Okay, then I will. Oh, I think this one is going to be 2. And Tuesday is 5. Monday he tickled 2 people. Tuesday he tickled 5 people, and on Wednesday he tickled 1 person. On Thursday he tickled 4 people. And on Friday he tickled 2 people.
Congratulations, you got them all right.
So in total he tickled 14 people that week. I think it's going to be the same one over again. So I'm going to go to the next one.
So, if you are in any way ticklish, beware of Mr. Tickle and those extraordinary long arms of his. Just think, perhaps he's somewhere about at this very moment while you're reading this story.
Oh. Oh, there's an instrumental version of Tickly 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 Scream.
Click on the buttons at the bottom of the page to change the length of Mr. Tickle's arms, and then print out the picture.
Oh, I'm not going to be bothering printing it out. I mean... I see. Yeah, I'm not going to print anything anyway, because I haven't got that printer set up.
Perhaps that extraordinary long arm of his is already creeping up to the door of this room.
Uh-oh.
Perhaps it's opening the door now and coming into the room. Perhaps, before you know what is happening, you will be well and truly tickled!
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Well, well, well. And I think that's the end of this story. After this animation. Oh, Mr. Tickle, stop tickling me! Oh, ho, ho. The end. Well, what can I say? Let me go back to the main menu. Oh, now let's see what activities this is. Sing along. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna get copyrighted. Dot to dot. Yeah, I think these two required a printer, which I'm not gonna bother. So I'm gonna quit out of that. Oh, and yeah. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video plus the story as much as I do. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and if you wish to be notified whenever I upload new videos onto my channel, then turn on the bell notifications. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you on my next eductember video. Until then, bye bye for now.